We found an ancient starship. Then it reacted to a human voice. Part 1: The Silent Tomb. The research vessel Horizon's Edge dropped out of faster-than-light travel and into complete darkness. Captain stood at the main window of the bridge and looked out at nothing. No stars, no planets, no light at all. They had arrived at what the galactic maps called the dead zone. "This place gives me a bad feeling," said from her communications station. She was a young woman with short black hair and quick eyes. Her job was to listen to the universe, but here there was nothing to hear. "The probe found something here," said. His voice was calm, but his hands were tight on the railing. "We did not travel 3 months to turn back now." Behind them made a clicking sound with his mouth parts. He was a species that looked like tall insects with 4 arms and large black eyes. His people were known across the galaxy for their love of science and logic. "The probe detected a structure," he said. "Metal, very old. The readings suggest it has been here for over 2 million years. 2 million years. Let that number sit in his mind. Human civilization was only 10,000 years old. The oldest known species in the galaxy, had records going back 500,000 years. But 2 million, that was before everything." "Impossible," said. She was the observer assigned to their mission by the Galactic Council. There were tall beings with bodies that looked like living crystal. Light moved inside them when they spoke. "Nothing in our records speaks of any civilization that old. Your probe must be wrong." His eyes narrowed. "Probes do not make mistakes." "Then show us," said. Nodded to his pilot. "Take us in slowly." The Horizon's Edge moved forward into the darkness. For long minutes they saw nothing. Then the ship's lights found something floating in the void. Everyone on the bridge went silent. It was a starship, but it was like no starship any of them had ever seen. The vessel was massive, at least 5 times larger than their own ship. Its hull was made of a dark metal that seemed to drink in the light. Strange shapes covered its surface. Not weapons, not engines, something else. The design was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "By the first light," whispered. Even her crystal body seemed to dim with shock. Park stepped forward from the back of the bridge. She was the mission's lead, a woman in her 40s with gray in her hair and fire in her eyes. She had spent her whole life studying dead civilizations, but she had never seen anything like this. "It is real," she said softly. "An actual ancient vessel. This changes everything we know about galactic history." "We should not be here," said. "This requires the full attention of the Galactic Council. We are a small research team. We are not prepared for a discovery of this size." "We are here now," said, "and I am not leaving without answers. Prepare a boarding team." 1 hour later, stood inside the ancient ship. The boarding team had entered through a hole in the hull, a wound from some ancient battle or accident. Inside, the air was cold and dead. Their lights cut through darkness that had lasted longer than human history. The chief engineer walked beside her. He was a large man with gentle hands, the kind of person who could fix anything. But here, surrounded by technology older than imagination, even he looked small. "No power readings," said, looking at his scanner. "No heat, no electromagnetic activity. This ship is completely dead." "Ships do not last 2 million years," said. He touched the wall with one of his 4 hands. "The metal should have broken down. This is not natural." They walked deeper into the ancient vessel. The corridors were wide and tall, built for beings roughly human-sized. Noticed this but said nothing. It was probably just a coincidence. Then they found the first chamber. The walls were covered in symbols, thousands of them. They glowed faintly, the only light inside the dead ship. Walked to the nearest wall and studied the markings. They were not like any language in the galactic database, but something about them felt familiar. She could not explain why. "Can you read them?" asked. "No," said, "but they are clearly a language, a written record of some kind. This is incredible. a message from 2 million years ago. Moved through the chamber, her crystal body reflecting the faint glow of the symbols. We should return to the ship and send a full report to the council. They will want to send a proper team. Scientists, historians, security forces. Security forces asked, why would we need those? Because whoever built this ship may still exist somewhere, said, and we do not know if they are friendly. Made a sound of disagreement. If they existed, we would have found them by now. The builders of this ship are gone, extinct. This is a tomb, nothing more. They spent 3 more hours searching the ancient vessel. They found more chambers, more symbols, more mysteries, but nothing alive, nothing active. The ship was exactly what said, a tomb, a silent monument to a civilization that had died before any of them were born. Stood alone in the chamber of symbols. The others had gone to explore different sections. She was tired and disappointed. She had hoped for something more, some answer to who had built this ship and why. She stared at the symbols on the wall. One of them looked almost like a word she knew, a word from an old Earth language. She had studied dead human languages as part of her training. This symbol looked like something from ancient Korean, not exactly the same, but close. That is ridiculous, she said to herself. How would an ancient alien species know a human language? She shook her head and started to turn away. Then she stopped. She looked at the symbol again. If it was what she thought it would mean light or beginning. She said quietly, the old Korean word for light. Deep inside the ancient ship, something heard her. A faint light flickered in the darkness behind her, then another, spun around and stared into the corridor. The lights were small and weak, barely visible, but they were there, moving, growing stronger. Her radio crackled. It was voice. Our sensors just picked up a power spike from your location. What is happening? Stood frozen in the chamber of symbols. The ancient ship was not dead. It had been waiting. And now it was waking up. We found an ancient starship. Then it reacted to a human voice. Part 2, Awakening. The lights continued to spread through the ancient ship like blood returning to a sleeping body. Watched them move along the walls, following paths that had been dark for 2 million years. Her heart was beating so fast she could hear it in her ears. Everyone back to my position, his voice came through the radio. Now. Within minutes, the entire boarding team gathered in the chamber of symbols, was scanning everything with his equipment, stood perfectly still, his large black eyes reflecting the growing lights, kept her distance from the walls, her crystal body dim with fear. What did you do? Demanded, looking at. I spoke, said. I said one word, that is all. What word? It means light in an old Earth language. One of the symbols looked like the written form, pointed at the wall. That one there. Moved closer to study it. You are saying that a 2 million-year-old alien ship responded to a human word. That is impossible. Your species did not exist 2 million years ago. There is no logical explanation for this. Then you explain it, said. Could not. Stepped forward. Can anyone else activate the ship? Try speaking to it. The scientist clicked his mouth parts nervously. Then he faced the wall of symbols and spoke in his own language. He said the word for light, for power, for wake. He said every command he could think of. Nothing happened. The lights continued their slow spread, but they did not respond to it all. Let me try, said. She moved to stand before the symbols and spoke in the musical language of the. Her words echoed through the chamber like bells ringing underwater. Nothing happened. Both aliens looked at with expressions she could not read. Fear, suspicion. She did not know, but she felt suddenly very alone, even surrounded by her team. Said into his radio, I need you over here. Arrived 5 minutes later, breathing hard from running through the corridors. What is happening? The whole ship is starting to light up. I could see it from the horizon's edge. We need you to speak, said. Say anything. Looked confused. What, why? Just do it. Shrugged. Okay, hello, can anyone hear me? She spoke in Korean, her native language. The lights in the chamber grew brighter. A low hum filled the air, so deep it vibrated in their chests. Something was powering up deep inside the ship. Took a step back. This cannot be real. It only responds to humans, said. He had been quiet until now, focused on his equipment. Look at these readings. Every time one of us speaks, the power levels increase. When the aliens speak, nothing. The ship is listening specifically for human voices. But why? Asked. Her voice was high with something close to panic. Why would an ancient ship respond only to the youngest species in the galaxy? Humans have only been traveling between stars for 200 years. My people have been in space for 500,000, for 300,000. How can this ship recognize humans but not us? No one had an answer. Made a decision. We keep exploring. You take the lead, talk to the ship, see what else you can wake up. They moved deeper into the vessel, walked at the front, speaking softly as she went. She described what she saw. She asked questions. She spoke about her work, her life, her hopes. The ship did not answer with words, but it answered. Doors opened as she approached. Lights came on in corridors ahead of her. Systems that had been dead for 2 million years hummed back to life. It is learning, said. She was walking beside now. Listen, the hum is changing. It sounds different every time you speak a new word. She was right. The ship was recording their voices, studying them, remembering. They found the command center after another hour of walking. It was a large circular room with a high ceiling. In the center stood a single chair made of the same dark metal as the hull. Around it were control panels covered in symbols. Screens lined the walls, all of them dark. Walked toward the chair. As she got closer, the screens began to light up. Images appeared on them, star maps, diagrams, writing in the same unknown language. The ship was showing her everything it knew. This is the bridge, said. This is where they controlled the ship. Reached out and touched the chair. It was warm. She could feel a faint vibration under her fingers like a heartbeat. Said, his voice was strange, afraid. Something is forming. She looked up. In the air above the chair, light was gathering. It twisted and shaped itself, trying to become something solid. A figure, a person. But it kept breaking apart, losing form, falling back into scattered light. Not enough power, said. The ship is trying to project something, but its energy reserves are too low. The figure tried again, and again. Each time it got a little clearer. Could see that it was human-shaped, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. It looked almost like a person. Then it spoke. The voice was broken and weak, like a recording that had been damaged. But the word it said was clear. It spoke in Korean, perfect Korean. Finally, felt her blood turn cold. How does it know Korean? It does not know Korean, said slowly. It learned Korean from us, from listening to us speak. It has been recording our voices since you first spoke in the symbol chamber, and now it is using our language to talk back. The figure tried to form again. This time could see more details. It looked human, very human. The face was unclear, but the shape of the body was exactly like a human body, not like a human. Builders, the figure said. The voice was stronger now. Children home. Then it fell apart completely. The lights in the command center dimmed. The ship had used too much power trying to communicate. But the message was clear. Stood at the edge of the room. His 4 hands were shaking. This should not be possible, he said. Humans are the youngest species in the known galaxy. You came from a small planet on the edge of nowhere. You are not special. You are not ancient. You are just humans. Said nothing, but the light inside her crystal body had gone very dim. She looked afraid. Walked to stand beside. What do you think it meant, children home? Stared at the empty space where the figure had been. Her mind was racing with thoughts that seemed too big to hold. I think, she said slowly, that whoever built this ship knew about humans, knew about us long before we existed, and I think they left this ship here specifically for us to find." "But how is that possible?" asked. Did not answer, because the only answer she could think of was one that would change everything. The builders had not just known about humans. The builders had made them. "We found an ancient starship, then it reacted to a human voice." Part 3: The Builders. 3 days passed, worked without sleep to restore power to the ancient ship. He connected generators from the horizon's edge. He found the ship's own power core and slowly brought it back to life. The alien technology was beyond anything he had ever seen, but machines were machines. They followed rules, and was very good at learning rules. On the 4th day, the command center finally had enough power. Sat in the central chair. The metal was warm against her back. She could feel the ship all around her like a sleeping animal slowly waking. The other stood at a safe distance, had his scientific instruments ready, had barely spoken in days, and waited beside the door, ready to run if something went wrong. "Are you sure about this?" asked. "No," said, "but we did not come here to be safe. We came here for answers." She placed her hands on the arms of the chair. "I am ready," she said to the empty air. "Can you hear me? Can you show me who you are?" The room came alive. Light gathered above the chair again. This time, with enough power, it did not fall apart. It shaped itself into a clear figure, a woman. She was tall with long dark hair and a gentle face. She looked completely human. She could have walked down any street on Earth and no one would have noticed anything strange about her. Made a sound of shock. "Impossible." The woman opened her eyes. They glowed with soft golden light. When she spoke, her voice filled the room like music. "I am Archive," she said. "I am the memory of this vessel. I have waited for you for 2,300,000 years." She smiled at, "Welcome home, child of the builders." His mouth was dry. "What do you mean, child of the builders?" Archive turned to look at each person in the room. Her gaze passed over and without stopping. But when she looked at the humans, her eyes filled with something like love. "I will show you," she said. The walls of the command center changed. Suddenly they were surrounded by stars. It was like standing in space itself, gasped and gripped the arms of the chair. 2 million years ago," Archive said, "the galaxy was very different. One species ruled all of known space. They called themselves you would call them the Builders." The image changed. Now could see a planet, a beautiful blue and green world covered in cities that reached the clouds, and walking through those cities were people, human people. They looked exactly like the humans of Earth. The same faces, the same bodies, the same everything. "The Builders were the first," Archive continued. "The first intelligent species in this galaxy. They arose on their home world and spread across the stars. They lived in peace for 1 million years. They were artists, scientists, dreamers. They loved beauty and knowledge above all things." Stepped forward. Her crystal body was shaking. "This is not in our records. They have never heard of these builders." Archive turned to look at her. "You were not meant to know about them. You were created after they fell. Your memories were designed to begin later." "Created?" His voice was high and sharp. "What do you mean, created?" Archive showed them more images, other planets, other species. Recognized some of them. She saw beings that looked like young, beings that looked like young, and many others that she did not recognize. "The Builders did not like being alone in the universe," Archive said. "So they planted seeds of life on thousands of worlds. They guided the growth of new species. They shaped the galaxy to be full of different minds, different ways of thinking. They were designed to be logical and scientific. They were designed to be artistic and spiritual. Others were designed for war or trade or exploration. Each species had a purpose." His 4 hands were clenched tight. "You are saying we were made, like tools, like machines." "Like children," Archive said gently. "The Builders loved all the species they created, but they were experiments, tests, practice for a greater work. The image changed again. Now saw the builders standing around a blue planet that she recognized immediately. Earth. Humans were different, Archive said. Humans were not an experiment. Humans were made in the image of the builders themselves. The same DNA, the same shape, the same capacity for growth. Humans were meant to be the inheritors, the ones who would take over when the builders were gone. Gone asked, what happened to them? Archive's face changed. The love disappeared, fear took its place. The hollow came. The images showed something new, darkness, ships made of black metal that ate light, machines the size of moons moving between the stars. Wherever they went, life died, planets burned, stars went dark. We do not know where the hollow came from, Archive said. Perhaps from outside our galaxy, perhaps from somewhere deeper. They were machines with no minds or minds so different from organic life that we could not understand them. They had only one purpose, to consume. Watched in horror as the beautiful builder cities fell. She saw the gentle people who looked like her running, fighting, dying. The hollow were everywhere. There was no stopping them. The builders were peaceful, Archive said. They had lived for 1,000,000 years without war. They had forgotten how to fight. When the hollow came, they did not know what to do. So they ran, said quietly. Yes, those who could escape fled to the edges of the galaxy. They hid in places like this dead zone, where the hollow could not find them. But they knew they could not hide forever. Archive looked directly at. Before they left, they gave their creations a gift. The younger species would grow up thinking they were natural. They would develop their own cultures, their own histories. They would become strong in ways the builders never were. And one day, the humans would find what was left behind. The images faded. They were back in the command center. This ship contains all the knowledge of the builders, Archive said. Their science, their art, their history, and their weapons. Everything they had they left for you, for their true children. Light flickered with anger. You are saying that humans are better than us, that we are just failed experiments while they are the real inheritors. Archive looked at her with something like pity. I am saying that you were loved too, but you were made for different purposes. Only humans were made to carry on the builder legacy. Only humans can use this ship fully. Only humans can face the hollow. Stepped forward. Wait, you said the hollow consumed the builders 2,000,000 years ago. Are they still out there? Archive nodded slowly. The hollow are patient. They have been consuming the universe one piece at a time. When this ship activated, when it heard human voices for the first time in 2,000,000 years, it sent out a signal. The room went very quiet. What kind of signal? Asked. Archive's golden eyes filled with sadness and hope at the same time. A signal that says the children have finally come home, and the hollow will hear it too. They are coming. They have been waiting for this moment as long as I have. Sat in the chair of the builders, and felt the weight of 2,000,000 years settle on her shoulders. The inheritance had a price. And that price was war. We found an ancient starship, then it reacted to a human voice. Part 4, Inheritance. The Galactic Council fleet arrived on the 6th day. 12 warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel and surrounded both the ancient vessel and the horizon's edge. Their weapons were active and pointed at the human ship. Had sent her report 3 days ago. The Council had not been happy. Captain, a voice said over the communication channel. This is Commander of the Galactic Council Enforcement Fleet. You are ordered to surrender the alien vessel immediately. All technology and data will be transferred to Council control. Do you understand? Stood on the bridge of the horizon's edge. His face was calm, but his eyes were hard. I understand your orders, Commander. I am choosing not to follow them. This is not a request, Captain. The Council has determined that technology of this importance cannot be left in the hands of a single species, especially not a species as young and unstable as humanity. Young and unstable. repeated. Funny words from someone whose entire species was created by mine. There was silence on the channel. Then Commander spoke again, his voice colder than before. That story has not been confirmed, and even if it were true, it changes nothing. The Council rules this galaxy. Humans are members of the Council. You will obey. Listen to the conversation from the command center of the ancient ship. Archive stood beside her in holographic form. They will not let you keep this vessel, Archive said. The other species fear what humanity might become with builder technology. They will destroy this ship before they let you have it. Can they? Asked. No, but they can destroy your people, your colonies, your home world. The Council fleet is small, but they can call for more, millions more. Humans are powerful for your age, but you cannot fight the entire galaxy. Closed her eyes. Then what choice do we have? There is one way to fully activate this ship, Archive said. The builders designed it to bond with a commander, a human commander. If you accept the bond, the ship will become an extension of your body and mind. You will control it completely. Its weapons will answer to you alone. What does the bond require? Archive was quiet for a moment. A part of your mind will become one with the ship forever. You will live longer than any normal human, but you will never be fully separate from this vessel again. Even if you leave, a piece of you will remain here. It is not death, but it is a change that cannot be undone. Looked around the command center. She thought about what Archive had shown them. The beautiful builder cities, the peaceful people who had made them, and the darkness that had consumed them because they did not know how to fight. The builders could have used these weapons, she said. Why did they not fight back? They tried, Archive said, but their hearts were not made for war. They hesitated. They questioned. They hoped for peace until it was too late. That is why they made humans differently. Differently how? Archive smiled. It was a sad smile, but there was pride in it too. Humans have the capacity for great peace, but you also have the capacity for great war. When you love something, you will fight for it. When you protect something, you will die for it. The builders could not understand violence. Humans can understand it without being destroyed by it. Outside, the Council fleet moved closer. Warning shots fired across the bow of the horizon's edge. Final warning, Captain, Commander said. Surrender now or we will board by force. Looked at the weapons pointed at his ship. He thought about his crew. He thought about Earth. He thought about all the human colonies across the galaxy that had no idea what was happening here. Then he thought about the Hollow, machines the size of moons coming to consume everything. Commander, he said slowly, do you know what is coming? Did tell you about the Hollow in her report. There was a pause. She mentioned some kind of enemy, ancient machines. The Council believes this is likely a builder defense system designed to scare away invaders. There is no evidence that these Hollow actually exist. No evidence, repeated. Have you looked at the builder records? Have you seen what they did to an entire civilization? Builder records are not reliable. They are 2 million years old. They could be fiction, propaganda. We will not make decisions based on ancient stories. Shook his head. Then you are fools. And the ancient ship made her choice. I will accept the bond, she said to Archive. Are you certain? There is no going back. Thought about her life. She had spent it studying dead civilizations, trying to understand people who were gone forever. Now she had a chance to save a living civilization, her civilization. I am certain. Archive nodded. Sit in the chair, place your hands on the controls, and open your mind. Sat down. The metal was warm. She could feel the ship all around her, waiting. She put her hands on the arms of the chair and closed her eyes. The bond hit her like lightning. Suddenly she could feel everything. The hull of the ship was her skin, the engines were her heart, the weapons were her hands, she was the ship was her. They were one thing now, forever joined. Power flooded through systems that had been sleeping for 2 million years. Lights blazed across the ancient vessel. Engines roared to life. Weapons powered up with a sound like thunder. Outside, the Council fleet stopped moving. Commander's voice came through the channel, higher now with fear. "What is happening? What are you doing?" Opened her eyes. They glowed with golden light, the same light as Archive. "I am waking up," she said. And the ancient ship moved for the first time in 2 million years. It was not fast, it was not aggressive. It simply moved, adjusting its position so that it floated between the horizon's edge and the Council fleet. A shield, a protector. "Stand down," said. Her voice was different now, deeper. It carried the weight of ages. "I do not want to fight you. None of us do, but we will if we must." His voice came through her communication system. He was still on the ancient ship, watching in amazement. "What have you done?" "What I had to do," she said. "What the builders could not." Long-range sensors activated. Saw everything for thousands of light years in every direction. She saw the Council fleet. She saw the horizon's edge. She saw distant stars and sleeping planets. And she saw something else. Something massive, something dark, something moving toward them from the edge of the galaxy. Archive appeared beside her. They heard the signal. "How long?" asked. "Hours, maybe less. They are faster than they used to be. 2 million years is a long time to improve." Looked at the approaching darkness. It was bigger than she had imagined, bigger than anything she had ever seen. Ships the size of moons, ships the size of planets, an armada of death that had consumed an entire civilization. And it was coming for them. "Commander," she said, "forget your orders, forget the Council. Something is coming that will kill all of us. Human. Every living thing in this galaxy. You can fight me and we all die. Or you can stand with me and maybe, just maybe, we survive." Silence on the channel. Then's voice, small and afraid. "What is coming?" "The end of everything," said, "unless we stop it." The ancient ship hummed around her, ready for a battle 2 million years in the making. "We found an ancient starship." Then it reacted to a human voice. Part 5, The Children's Answer. The hollow arrived like a wave of darkness. They came out of faster-than-light travel all at once, hundreds of ships filling the void. They were exactly as Archive had shown them. Black metal that ate light. No windows, no markings, just endless shapes designed for one purpose: destruction. The smallest hollow ship was larger than the Council's biggest warship. The largest was the size of a small moon. They moved in perfect formation, a wall of death stretching across the stars. Commander's voice came through the channel. It was shaking. "By the ancestors, they are real." "Yes," said. She could feel the hollow through the ancient ship's sensors. They were cold, empty, like staring into a void where nothing lived and nothing ever would. "They are real, and they are hungry." The hollow did not try to communicate. They did not send warnings or demands. They simply opened fire. Energy beams the color of dead stars cut through space. The first Council ship exploded before anyone could react. Then another. Then another. 3 ships gone in 3 seconds. "Evasive action," screamed. All ships returned fire. The Council fleet scattered and fought back. Their weapons hit the hollow ships, but the damage was small. Scratches on monsters. The hollow did not even slow down. Watched through the ancient ship's sensors. She felt each Council ship die. Crew members screaming as their hull broke apart. Officers praying to their first light as fire consumed them. Young and old, soldiers and scientists, all dying the same way. "We have to help them," said through the communication channel. She was still on the horizon's edge within. "I know," said. She had been holding back. The ancient ship had weapons that made the Council fleet look like toys, but using them would mean accepting what she had become, what humans had been made to be. Archive appeared beside her. The builders hesitated too. They watched their allies die while they questioned themselves. Do not make their mistake. Closed her eyes. She thought about Earth. about her family, about every human who had ever lived and every human who would ever be born. She thought about who had been afraid of her but stayed anyway, about who had hated what she learned but was still fighting. Then she stopped thinking and started acting. The ancient ship moved. It did not fly like a normal vessel. It jumped through space, appearing directly in front of the largest hollow ship, raised her hands, and the ancient ship raised its weapons. She fired. Light brighter than stars erupted from the ancient vessel. It hit the hollow ship and passed straight through, cutting it in half. The two pieces drifted apart, dark and dead. For a moment everything stopped. The hollow paused. The council ship stopped running. Everyone stared at what had just happened. Then spoke, and her voice echoed across every communication channel in the battle. "My name is Park, I am human. I am the commander of this vessel, and I am telling you now, Hollow. This galaxy is not yours. It belongs to the living. If you want it, you will have to go through me." The Hollow answered with everything they had. Thousands of weapons fired at the ancient ship, felt each impact through the bond. Pain flashed through her mind, but the shields held. Builder technology, built to last 2 million years, was strong. She fought back. The battle became a blur of light and darkness, spun the ancient ship through the hollow formation, firing in every direction. She destroyed ships the size of cities with single shots. She dodged attacks that would have killed anything else. The bond let her feel everything, react to everything, fight with the speed of thought. But there were too many. For every hollow ship she destroyed, two more took its place. They were adapting, learning, changing their tactics. They had consumed entire civilizations. One human was not going to stop them. His voice came through. "We are coming to help." "No," she shouted. "Stay back. Your ship cannot survive this. We are not hiding while you die for us." The horizon's edge flew into the battle. It was small and fragile compared to the hollow, but it fought anyway. Had modified its weapons with everything he had learned from the ancient ship. It punched above its weight, destroying hollow drones and damaging larger vessels. Then the council fleet joined them. Commander brought his surviving ships into formation around the horizon's edge. "All ships, protect the human vessels. Focus fire on their damaged ships." His voice came through. He was still on the ancient ship, working at one of the science stations. "I have analyzed their formation. There is a command ship at the center. If we destroy it, the others may become confused." Looked through the sensors. She found it. The largest hollow ship, the one the size of a moon. It was hanging back, directing the others. The brain of the swarm. "I see it," she said, "but I cannot reach it. There are too many ships in the way." "Then we make a path," said. Her voice was calm, almost peaceful. Looked and saw that was on one of the council ships. A small cruiser, already damaged, barely holding together. "What are you doing?" "The builders made us to serve a purpose," said. "Perhaps this is mine." Her ship accelerated. It flew straight into the hollow formation, weapons firing in every direction. It was a suicide run. The hollow turned to destroy it, opening a gap in their line. "Go," screamed. "Go now." Did not hesitate. She pushed the ancient ship forward, flying through the gap that had created. Behind her, she felt the ship explode. Was gone. But the path was open. Flew toward the command ship. It saw her coming. Weapons turned in her direction. The biggest guns she had ever seen, powered by 2 million years of stolen energy. They fired. Pain exploded through his mind. The shields failed. Hull breach alarms screamed. Archive flickered beside her. "Damage critical," Archive said. "We cannot survive another hit." Smiled, blood was running from her nose. Her hands were shaking, but she was still flying. "We do not need to survive," she said. "We just need to win." She pushed everything into the forward weapons. Every bit of power the ancient ship had left. The lights went dark. Life support failed, but the weapons fired. A beam of pure white light hit the hollow command ship. It burned through shields, through armor, through everything. The command ship broke apart, its dark metal shattering like glass. And then something strange happened. The other hollow ships stopped. They drifted in space, weapons going dark, formations falling apart. Without their command ship, they were lost. Watch them through failing sensors. Archive, what is happening? They are confused, Archive said. Her voice was weak, fatting. They never lost a command ship before. They do not know what to do. This is your chance. The Council fleet can destroy them now. All ships broadcast. Her voice was barely a whisper. Attack, attack now. The Council fleet and the horizon's edge opened fire on the confused hollow. Ship after ship exploded. The darkness that had threatened to consume everything was dying, one piece at a time. Hours later, it was over. The last hollow ship was destroyed. The battle was won, but the cost had been high. Half the Council fleet was gone, was gone. The ancient ship was crippled, barely able to keep alive. Found her in the command center. She was still sitting in the chair, too weak to move. Her eyes still glowed faintly with golden light. You saved us, said, all of us, every species in the galaxy. Not alone, said, saved us too, and your people and mine. Was quiet for a moment. I was wrong about humans, we all were. You are not just young and unstable. You are exactly what the builders hoped you would be. And arrived, was working on repairs somewhere below. The survivors gathered around. Archive appeared one last time. She was barely visible now, more light than form. The builders created many children, Archive said, but only you were made in their image. Only you were given their fire. They could not fight, but you can. You did. She smiled at, make them proud. Then she faded away. The ancient ship grew quiet. Looked at her friends, at who had overcome his fear, at the empty space where had been, at the stars beyond the window, full of life that would continue because of what they had done today. This is not the end, she said. There are more hollow out there, and other dangers we have not found yet, but now we know what we can do when we stand together. Helped her to her feet. So what happens now? Looked at the ancient ship around her ship now, her responsibility. Now, she said, we rebuild, we learn, we prepare, and when the next darkness comes, we will be ready. Outside, the stars shone bright. The children of the builders had finally come home. And the galaxy would never be the same.